Okay, if you are in Math 7, we are working from the Advanced 2 textbook. If you are in Math 8, we are working from the Course 3 textbook. We are doing lesson 2.1. It can be found on pages 44 and 45. We're going to be talking about congruent figures and corresponding parts. So let's go ahead and start with congruent figures. Congruent or congruence means same size, same shape. Same size, same shape, not necessarily same orientation. So, these triangles are the same size and the same shape. They are congruent. These triangles are the same size and the same shape, but they are not the same orientation. That means they're not going the same direction. However, they are still congruent because they are the same size and same shape. These triangles, same size, same shape, different orientation, but same size, same shape. So they are congruent. Now these triangles are the same shape, same orientation, but different sizes. Therefore, they are not congruent. Okay, so take a second to look at that. Same size, same shape, but not necessarily same orientation. Okay, so this is congruence, congruent figures, same size, same shape. Now let's talk about corresponding parts. Corresponding parts. We have two congruent triangles. A, B, C, D, E, F. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. That means they're the same size and the same shape. And when we label congruent triangles, we need to label them the points in the same order. So ABC is congruent to DEF. We would not label this triangle DFE or FED. They would be, you want the same points in the same order when you're labeling congruent triangles. Okay, so let's talk about congruent angles. This is angle A is congruent to angle D. Okay, they are the same angles on the congruent figures. Angle B is congruent to angle E. And angle C is congruent to angle F. Okay, let's talk about corresponding sides. Corresponding sides. This is side AB. Side AB is congruent to side DE. And here again, we want to label the sides in the same way, the same corresponding point to point. So if this is side AB, it's congruent to side DE, not side ED. We would want to label them the same. Okay? So side BC is congruent to side EF. Then side CA is congruent to side FD. So we have two congruent triangles. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, and the corresponding angles. Angle A is congruent to angle D, angle B is congruent to angle E, and angle C is congruent to angle F. Those are considered corresponding angles. Side AB is congruent to side DE. Side BC is congruent to side EF. And side CA is congruent to side FD. So that's all fine and dandy and everything, and it's really easy to find corresponding angles and sides when you've got two congruent shapes in the same orientation. But what happens when they are not in the same orientation? What happens when we have two congruent triangles? And I'm going to tell you, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. Remember, when we label our triangles, we use corresponding points in the same order. So A and D are corresponding, B and E, C and F. So that's how we're going to label them. And sometimes when they're in different orientations, it's harder to find corresponding angles, but it's still the same. Angle A is congruent to angle D. They're the same size and same shape, they're just in a different orientation. So angle B is congruent to angle E. And just like before, angle C is congruent to angle F. And the same is true for the sides as well. Here we go. Side AB is congruent to side DE. Just like before. Side BC is congruent to side EF. And we want to make sure our congruent points are labeled in the same order. And last but not least, side AC is congruent to side DF. So we still have two congruent triangles. They're just in different orientations, and it takes a little bit more work to find the corresponding angles and sides. Okay? So that takes us to our next example. Okay. 8, 8, 8, 8, 9, 9, 9, 9, 8, 8, 8, 8. Okay, we want to know which two figures are congruent. And remember, congruent means same size, same shape. So when we look at all of these, all three are the same shape. They're all squares. But only A and C are the same size. It's okay if they're at a different orientation. They're the same shape and the same size. Therefore, A and C are congruent. And remember the symbol for congruence, it's that equal sign with the tilde on top. Okay, congruent. So if congruence means same size and same shape, then if we have two triangles, A, B, C, D, E, F, and I'm telling you triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. They are the congruent, same size, same shape. And if the perimeter of triangle ABC is equal to 12, then the perimeter of triangle DEF is also equal to 12 because they're the same size and the same shape. So if the perimeter of ABC is 12, then the perimeter of DEF is 12. If the length of A and B is 3, then the length of D and E is 3. If the length of A and C is 4, well then the length of D and F has to be 4. And if the length of B and C is 5, well, what's the length of E and F? Well, since they are congruent triangles, it has to be 5. So if the perimeter of triangle ABC is 12, then the perimeter of DEF also has to be 12. So this is congruent figures and corresponding parts in a nutshell.